Okay, today I want to update a previous video I did talking about how you can use the Blackmagic Camera app as a controller or a camera between two devices. It could be between two iPhones, two iPads, or an iPhone and an iPad. To me, this is the most logical way to go. Most people have a phone and then you might have an iPad. But if you have two phones, that's great too. But ultimately, you can set one as the controller and one as the camera. First thing you have to do is go into the one you want to be, well, in this case, I'm gonna make the phone the camera. The phone is a much better camera than the iPad. So you need to turn remote camera control on. And if this is your first time setting it up, you would go through and name it. You would turn on a remote password, and you would then make the camera available for control or monitor. Control and monitor, that's what you want. And the password can be anything you want. I've got this named Camera A. And so then on the iPad, you would do the same thing. Remote camera control, you want to be sure to turn that on. The difference here though is I'm going to use the iPad as the controller, and over here on the phone, I'm going to use the phone as the remote camera. Pretty straightforward, but that is something to make sure you choose properly. And then one thing that I like to select over here is sync clips to controller after record. So you do that, and then once you're done recording, it'll automatically sync the clips from the phone to the iPad. You don't have to do that. You could just have them on the phone, but sometimes it's nice to have them on the iPad to do playback. Otherwise, they only live on the actual phone. But you can do a manual sync if you decide not to use sync clips to control after record. So now we'll go out to the camera. Right now you're seeing what each device is seeing. But to have this be the controller, you click those three buttons on the side, and that is one thing that Blackmagic has updated with the later versions of the app. I'm running 3.2, but anything after 3 would have this look. So you hit that little icon there, and you get this window. So then you select what you want to control, and there's one available. So I'm going to pick that, and you can, by the way, control multiple devices if you have multiple phones, which is pretty cool. And if you were controlling multiple phones, you could hit synchronize record, and then it would record across all those devices at one time. I can do it here, but I'm only using one device. But now you're seeing what's on the iPhone on my iPad, and now I have full control. So I can hit focus. And now I can focus. You can see the phone over there changing. It's changing here on the iPad. I can control white balance. So you have all the control that you have on the phone right here on the iPad. So it is pretty nice. And one thing you might be noticing is over here, I've got a LUT on. It's a preview LUT. And over here, I'm seeing Apple Log. Now I'm pretty sure on later iPads, I can just load that LUT over here and you would see it. But this is an older iPad and it doesn't support Apple Log. Because when you go to settings, I'm seeing the iPhone 17 Pro Max. These are the controls for that over there. Like if I turn the display LUT off, the display LUT goes off over there, and I turn it back on over here. Because again, these are those controls. But I can go to this iPad and control stuff over here. So when I go to LUT Manager, you can see the different LUTs here, but this particular, again, device doesn't record Apple Log. I can only record Rec 709 or P3D65. But it's nice that you can look at the settings on the iPad and then you switch back and now you've got the settings on the iPhone. And again, you can switch everything. I'm recording HEVC. I could go to ProRes LT. You can see right there it switched. Go back to HEVC and it works pretty flawlessly. So you have all those controls. We'll go back to camera and now I'll hit record. And so I'm recording a clip and it's pretty instantaneous. And if I move the phone, you can see the latency is not great. If you have a lockdown shot, it would be no problem. If you're panning and tilting a lot, not ideal, but it is great to still have this kind of control. I'll hit stop. So it stopped instantly. And now I'll go to media. And right now you can see it syncing across. It says importing clip. So as soon as you stop, that clip is imported. But let's say I didn't have that turned on. What you could do is come over here and hit that button. Now right now it says sync completed, and I'll hit OK because it just did that. But if you didn't do that, or if you wanted to sync other clips, you could go back to the last record session, you go back to the last hour, or you could do any time. You could sync clips from the phone to the iPad. But syncing them right after they recorded is a really nice feature, and they used to not have that. And so just remember, there's 3 dots here. You want to click that, and then you want to hit the remote control icon. And then you choose your camera or your cameras, and you're off to the races. And if you want to learn more about the Blackmagic Camera app, check out my course, The Complete Guide to the Blackmagic Camera app. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching.